So I'm kind of in a weird position right now. I went from having a PC powered by an FX 8350, a CPU infamous for allegedly having bad performance, allegedly not really having 8 cores, and a whole bunch of other issues. So I went from this old platform that was in this very weird place to all of a sudden having this in my hand, a Aorus NVMe Gen4 SSD, one of the first PCIe Gen4 NVMes on the market, one of the big selling points of the brand new X570 chipset that came with the Ryzen 3000 launch. It's not only the very first NVMe I've ever had, simply because my old board didn't even support it, but I've already went from having none to having one of the best available currently on the market. I mean, these things are insanely fast and insanely expensive. For 1 terabyte of storage, I paid almost £260, but in return, I do get, as apparently advertised here, 500 megabytes per second read speeds and 4,400 megabytes per second write speeds. I'm definitely really excited to try this out because just even the box looks amazing. I mean, just look at it, it looks so fancy and expensive looking. So in preparation for my main review of this thing, here we have some of my first impressions when it comes to the unboxing experience, installing it, and of course, some performance. And as someone who has never really even held an M.2 drive before, first thing I noticed is that it's tiny to what I expected. Like, even with a giant heatsink on it, which it needs because of the extra heat generated by the extra data transfers, it is still ridiculously small, and just makes you think how crazy this industry is, where you can pay £250 for something so small, which you can just get in most hardware shops. With it the size of a heatsink, I was actually kind of worried it just wouldn't even fit. Like, it'll just clip my graphics card, but it did fit in there. Sadly, you can't really see it as much as I hoped you would be able to see it in there. It's kind of just nicely tucked in underneath my graphics card, so you can just see a tiny bit of that, like, pinkish, goldish shroud. But, you know, it's still better than nothing. You can still see that there is that signature PCIe Gen 4 power in there. And it's just like any other M.2 drive as far as I know, so it was really easy to install as well. One thing I really don't understand so far is the color of the shroud, at least at first. So I'm not someone who really cares too much about how my build looks. It literally just sits under my desk, so I really don't care about looks too much, but that kind of weird golden, pinkish goldish look kind of confused me. And another thing that was kind of weird to see is the fact that, unlike Aorus's PCIe Gen 3 NVMes, they didn't introduce any RGB. But like I said, I don't really care about the whole RGB aspect, nor the looks aspect, but when I did finally put it in, I've noticed that it does kind of fit in. But what about, you know, one of the main parts of this NVMe, and that is the speed? Well, I'm happy to say that it's definitely fast. Definitely compared to both the hard drives and a SATA SSD that I use. This thing literally clicks something and it's there instantly. Another good thing I've noticed is that game speeds for games I've already put onto the NVMe are extremely good. Even in games like Rainbow Six Siege, where, you know, it's really infamous at this point of how long some people can take to load their game when they're on a multiplayer match. But in this game, I've never really had a problem with this before. Even on my hard drive, it was loading sort of kind of quickly. But now when it's on a PCIe Gen 4 NVMe, it literally takes maybe a fifth of that time. Again, I'll be going through all the details exactly in my review. This is just kind of my first impressions of the whole thing. Are there any downsides I've noticed so far? Well, I mean, the price is ridiculous, and sadly I don't really have a PCIe Gen 3 NVMe on me to, you know, compare the two. But I say, if you do have an X570 platform right now, just from some first looks, I don't really see a reason why you should go for a PCIe Gen 3. If you have the opportunity, I think it's definitely worth it to just spend a few extra pounds to get yourself a Gen 4 NVMe. I'm definitely really excited to see where they'll go further with PCIe Gen 4, especially, you know, graphics cards are a major other thing that's gonna really benefit from that. But we'll see in the future. Right now, I'm really loving this NVMe, but I don't really know so far how much it is that I'm happy I finally even have space on my main drive, because on my previous one, I actually only had 120 gigs, and right now, I only have maybe half a gigabyte left of space on there. So I'm definitely really happy I actually even have space, because like I said in my big investment video, even Photoshop refused to launch because that's how little space there was on that thing. That Photoshop just refuse to launch altogether. But anyway, I'll be doing a full review of this in the coming days, so definitely subscribe to the channel so you don't miss it out, and of course ring that bell button so YouTube doesn't mess up and doesn't notify you of this really awesome video. Also, I would like to thank my Patreon Barry Yule. Thank you ever so much, and if you want to support my channel on Patreon, then I highly recommend checking it out. It's down in the description below, and even $1 a month goes a long way in just making even things like this, which I got for the channel, way more affordable. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, remember to subscribe, like, whatever, and I'll see you all in what I will make next. Goodbye everyone. Goodbye.